Hello, I am Jose Rio Linares. I'm going to talk about the final research proposal for the course Research Project. Chapter 1. Statement of the problem. One of the biggest issues that second language teaching institutions have had to face for years is the early dropout or not satisfactory outcomes when a small amount of learners who finish an English learning program, let's say in quotation marks, satisfactory or successfully, do not get the required grades to be certified according to the most well-known international examinations, such as CEFR, Common European Framework Reference for Languages, TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language, IELTS, International English Language Testing System, and CAE, Cambridge English Examinations, among others. According to the Common European Framework of References for Languages, English language speakers fall into one of 6 categories, ranging from A1 for basic users to C2 for those who have mastered the language. The PNB, which stands for Plan Nacional de Bilingüismo in Spanish, stated that by 2019, all secondary school graduates should be at B1, while university graduates should be at B2. Primary and secondary school teachers were expected to be at B2, while those graduating from teacher training or pre-service programs should be at C1. So here in Colombia we have a big issue because we know that students, even teachers, they only reach B1 level. So this research is trying to find out how to improve the English level in both teachers and students. Although the English level has increased meaningfully in the last decades despite of the bunch of barriers, the failure in the assessments deserves to be evaluated deeply and meticulously, so that the desired English level B1 will not be just a goal but could be reached in some years. Another big issue is that also the Colombian English teachers have been graded with a not satisfactory level. According to Adrian Alcema, 2009, almost half of the English teachers in Colombia do not know how to speak the language. A study conducted by the Ministry of Education revealed the causes why the teachers have not a satisfactory level, and we have because it is too expensive, there was not access to government-funded programs, and not good at learning languages. Okay, there are a lot of matters that affected the English learner. I do not travel to English-speaking countries. Nobody in my family speaks English. It wasn't taught during primary school. It wasn't taught during secondary school. I do not need English for my job. I do not want to learn English. In this regard, the article from Colombians Bilingual Program Failing, scoring very low in world ranking, says, the results of the Central Bank report show that it is not only students who have a low level of English. A 2009 report by the Ministry of Education showed that nearly 50% of English teachers in public schools did not have a B1 level of English, the basic level needed to communicate and understand the language. So now I will read the research question. What are the reasons that force people who start a second language acquisition process, learning, in the distant method, do not finish the process satisfactorily? Okay, this research question fits in the line of a School of Education. Bilingualism in distance education mediated by technologies. Why? because it is well known the big amount of desertion in all types of language learning institutions, which encompass all genders and ages, who are highly affected due to they see their goal frustrated, which can affect their professional, personal, and social development. And so most of the people who decided to learn a second language look for a better job position as well as to be more professionals and get their lifestyle better. So this research aims to find out the possible reasons and make something to decrease the percentage of this big problem or issue. Objectives of this research: to find out what the main causes are which leads the English language learners to early dropout or desertion, as well as the low grades obtained in national and international evaluation, despite having the national bilingual program, which supposes to be a sponsor for the government. And among others, we have some specific objectives: collect information by surveys, then analyze, classify, and try to find the possible solutions and apply them to this research. Justification. Colombia is a country formed by 32 departments, ethnically diverse, with different economic markets, beliefs, and culture, despite having the government policy MVP, National Bilingualism Program. Its students and teachers have been graded not satisfactory in the different international examinations. So learning a second language is about discipline, time, and dedication. But what happens when the learner has these three characteristics but do not have this due to several external factors which deserve everybody's attention and commitment in order to make this government policy to come true and possible for all the Colombians? Okay, Chapter 2. Theoretical framework. The scholar desertion or dropout is the abandonment of the school system. But first we need to know two different concepts that are related to the dropout. Voluntary desertion. It is defined when the student takes the decision of abandoning the studies for diverse factors, whether letting the institution knows the causes or not. And involuntary desertion, it is an institution decision. It does not depend on the student for several factors such as indiscipline or breaching their regulations and so forth. Literature review. Okay, this point is very important since, as I was reading in the previous slides, Colombia is a state which should support the studies and where the access to education should be free and easy, but it is opposite. So in the Article 67 from the National Constitution, it says that the education is a right of the person and is a public service. So the state, society, and family are responsible for education. But this is not happening in Colombia. That is why I want to be, I want to remark in this point. It is right, but we know that education in Colombia is almost a luxury. So no too many people can access to education. So Chapter 3, Research Design. Okay, research paradigm. This research fits into the positivism paradigm, which is based on the philosophical ideas of the French philosopher Auguste Comte, emphasized observation and reason are means of understanding human behavior. True knowledge is based on experience of senses and can be obtained by observation and experiment. Verified data, positive facts received from the senses are known as empirical evidence. Positivism holds that valid knowledge is found only in derived knowledge or exclusive source authoritative knowledge. Research approach. The research on research is quantitative since it is necessary to collect and analyze data as well as examining the relationship among variables in order to get to know what the dropout causes are. So data can be analyzed using statistical procedures, as well as different data collecting ways such as questionnaires, interviews, and surveys, and it will generate a final written report with a structure consisting of introduction, literature and theory, methods, results, and discussion. Types of study. This study is experimental since it uses the scientific method to establish cause-effect relationship among a group of variables, such as the desertion causes, in which the researchers starts from one hypothesis and collect data regarding the causes, then analyze and make conclusions. So the population, this research was applied to population from all genders, ages from 14 to 50 years old, in a social context, middle class. They seem to have economic issues despite of being middle class. Only 1 or 2 family members have a job, so they have to support and cover all the expenses from the family. So that is why it's difficult or hard to access to education, because it is expensive. So this population studies are basic, some of them technical, others are professional. The instrument which was applied was a survey. I handed out the survey questionnaire to 20 people. Then 2 days after, I went to pick them out and have the data, the statistics, and make to classify it and find the possible causes. Okay, these are the references. Please feel free to go and research. Thank you very much for watching my video.